Okay, so let's go ahead and begin the capture process. Before we can begin the capture process, we need to configure our interface. So we configure our interface to basically go into the monitor mode. So you can do this manually, but Aircrack will help you out with this. You just type in airmon-ng start and then VLP14S0U. The name of your interface might be something different, but doesn't matter. I've showed you how to find it. 0U2. Oh, they're really making these weird names. Okay, so it says that this is functional. How does it say that? Well, it didn't give me any errors. that's the important part. So it says wireless network adapter, monitor mode, Wi-Fi enabled on this device. So it created another device there. Disabled. Okay, so it's fine. As long as you don't get a message that states error or something like that, it worked out. And here we have a message confirming that the monitor mode has been enabled. So that's good. That's good. Config. And as you can see, I have another interface down below, and this is the interface that I am going to be using now. Okay, so next up, we need to type in, clear the screen and type in airmon-ng and type in the name of the newly created interface and press enter. Oh, right. God. Start. Oh, right, this is started already. What am I doing? Aero dump -ng for crying out loud. Press enter and excellent. So our scan is actually in effect and it's in progress. So what are we scanning here for? Well, pretty much everything that's around us, really. You can see that there are a lot of them. There are a lot of networks. You can shift them with page up and page down if you like. Just press shift and then press page up or page down. Now, I am not going to mess with anybody else's internet, wireless connection. I am just going to mess with my own, which is basically named my domain. So that is the one that I'm going to play around with. It's odd enough that I have exactly the same power as everybody else around me, which is kind of weird. Because their signals must be really strong. Anyway, the less this is, the better it is. So the less this number is, the better it is. If you get a high number like 70 or 100, that's bad. That's real bad. If you, I mean, they're far away and the signal is going to be pretty weak. Up here, you can see the channel. So the channels are being switched. I think there are 12 or 13 usable channels that wireless actually operates on. So that's what it's doing here. It's changing the channel of the interface from one to the next and trying to see who is around me getting the information, such as the MAC address of the access point, the channel on which it is running, its strength, how far is it, and the type of encryption that is being used. So people around me, I opted not to show you WEP, how to crack WEP, because nobody is using it anymore. Like, I can't imagine that anybody is actually using WEP anymore. If you want to learn how to crack WEP, I mean, just go onto YouTube. There are like 10 trillion tutorials out there. Okay, so what are we going to need here? Well, I am going to go ahead and stop this scan. And this is the wireless access point that I'm going to mess around with. Now, keep in mind, this is my access point. I own it. I can do whatever I want with it. If I want to take a hammer, I can take it and then smash this router into oblivion if I wish, because I have bought it. But, for example, I did not buy this one. I do not own this one, this one, this one, this one. I don't own any of the other ones. So I am not going to mess around with them because they are not mine. I don't have the permission to do so. And I advise you to do exactly the same thing. In fact, I'm asking you not to actually mess around with anybody else other than yourself and your own router. So we are going to need this MAC address. So just go ahead and copy it. And the next thing that we are going to do is actually go ahead and use a far more specific way of a scan and a capture. So we are going to do this for a specific router. Just let me see which channel was it. We needed the MAC address and the channel. So it's working on channel 8. Okay, no problems. Channel 8 it is. Let's go ahead and type in arrow, and somebody's really persistent on my phone, which is kind of annoying. Arrow dump -ng as before, and then we're gonna go ahead and type in -c. So this is the router channel, which is 8, which we have seen from there. -- now BSSID. This will be the place for your router's MAC address, and -- ESSID. This will be your router's network's name. So my domain. W will be the name of the capture file. I'm gonna name this to crack. That's how I'm going to name it. And the interface which we are going to be utilizing. So there we go. I just press enter. So this is looking on channel 8 for this specific MAC address, and it's scanning for this router and this router alone. It doesn't want to scan for anything else because, quite frankly, it actually cannot scan for anything else. It can't scan for anything else because it's scanning on a particular MAC. It's scanning for a particular MAC address for a particular ESSID, and there we go. Actually, it caught the handshake. Wow. Okay, the reason why it actually caught the handshake is because I just took my phone up and woken it up from sleep, and I realized that my Wi-Fi wasn't on. So I just turned my Wi-Fi on, and it actually captured a handshake. This is kind of weird. So anybody basically connecting to the network, their handshakes will be caught. I can just press Control-C, clear the screen, and begin the process over again. Just so that there aren't any fake things or anything like that going on, because I didn't really de-authenticate anyone. Okay, so here you have the BSSID and some station name. So this is E49070 blah blah blah. This is basically my phone. I haven't done anything with my phone now. It's just connected to the Wi-Fi. That's it. It picked it. The scanner picked it up because it's transmitting to the wireless access point. If it doesn't catch it straight away, if it doesn't catch the station straight away, which will be your phone most likely, try opening up the browser on your phone. Try browsing the web or something like that. Just casual things that people do. And now what we're going to do is type in airplay-ng, and this is also an effective way of actually DOSing somebody. I'm going to go ahead and state 10 -0 10. So this is the number of de-authentication attempts that we are going to make. So my router's MAC address. Oh god, that's not what I need. I'm gonna have to type this in because I can't copy it from top. 0024A5 colon BD colon EF colon AA. Okay, so this is the router MAC address. 0024A5 0024A5 BDEF BDEF AA. Okay, no big deal. I got it there. And the channel will be, well, not the channel, sorry. -C will be the phone's MAC address, which will be E4. Okay, let's just use the caps lock. E4. They don't actually need to be capital letters, but I just like to make them like that. E497E 0B, and it's 9697. Okay, so 9697. And of course, we will need the interface name as well. So this is going to issue 10 requests to actually deauthenticate my phone. Okay. AirPlay. Okay, so it's sending on end. Why is it sending on end? It should just send 10 packets, but oh well. Just wait for it, and eventually you should get a handshake up here, depending on how your router is configured. You can have pretty good routers where this is actually not possible to do it in this fashion. And I actually don't have any connection on my phone now while this was going on. I've just checked it. It's basically, it's gone. So my phone is actually not connected to the wireless access point while all of this is happening. It sort of is, but it's not actually any sort of a usable connection. And just wait for, let this subside and wait for the reauthentication to occur. Might take a while depending on how well your phone actually works and on how well your router works, because it just survived a lot of the authentication. And there you go. You have the WPA handshake. So it might take a while. So when you send the authentication requests, your phone is basically no longer utilizing that Wi-Fi. It can't use it. And even the scan could jam it to an extent as well. But once the deauthentication is finished, you need to wait a little bit for the phone to actually re-authenticate to the access point or a laptop or whatever. And once it re-authenticates, you will get this WPA2 handshake. So you can cancel these proceedings here. Okay, so I got the files to check.cap, CSV, Kismet, XML cap, so I'll show you which one of these to use and how to use it and what to do with them. Anyway, gonna bid you farewell here, and we shall see each other in the follow-up tutorial where we will actually begin the cracking process, or the setup for the cracking process and then the cracking process itself.